comedy, pop culture, and everything in between. By idiots, for idiots. Welcome, sinners. This is Sports Idiot Nation.
Welcome into Sports Idiot Nation. It is Thursday, so it is your Thursday dosage of Sports Idiot Nation. We come to you twice a week, every Monday and Thursday. Follow us wherever you get your social media. Click the link in the description. Get your Java, your mugs,
merches.
your t-shirts.
Get your merches.
Your everything.
Get your swag, as the kids today say. Get your swag.
Swaggy.
You can yeet it. Yeet that swag.
So tell me why my Instagram notifies me when Swaggy P goes live on Instagram. I don't need to get notified.
Sounds like a personal
Instagram
problem, man.
That's like a hard no. Like
my question though is, why are you following Swaggy P? Are you following Swaggy P?
I on accident. I don't. I don't know.
Yeah, that's what I tell my wife too. Like, oh, I'm sorry, I clicked on that website by accident. Sorry.
That's also what my 3-year-old says when I'm like, "Did you download another game?"
Yeah,
I must have.
Did you spend $500 of fake money on a Roblox? No, not me. Okay.
No, the 3-year-old's funny though. He parted it. Go ahead.
We are here. It is Thursday. We are going to put a nice little. Whoa! I was like, break my studio here.
Come on, dude.
I'm trying to make the hand gestures not as good as you guys with the hand gestures. I'm trying to wrap a bow on the season that was college basketball.
Nice.
I thought you're,
I don't know what I was doing.
It's just, it's still March Madness, man.
Conducting the symphony. I thought you were conducting our symphony there for a second.
I don't know what I was doing. So, the first thing that I want to get into is the game on Monday. I still don't know what Kelvin Sampson drew up, because I put a picture on my personal social media of, it was the screenshot of when 6 seconds left and he had to drop the ball and not touch it, and the ball is just there in a screenshot, and I put that on my story, and my buddy Joe, he messaged me and said, why do you have this picture posted? And I said, because it's hilarious that that's the shot attempt that they got to win the national championship. And he said, yeah, they didn't even get one. I'm like, yeah, that's hilarious. And he said, well, and he is a fellow basketball coach like me. He coached at the rival school that I coached at. He coached for the girls team. I coached for the boys team. But in my city, all the coaches know each other. We all kind of hang out and stuff. And so he said, well, they screened the wrong guy for Sharp to get open. And I saw an interview that said they were trying to run a certain play that it's a staggered gate is what they were running, but they screened the wrong guy, and that's got to be the most awkward, with 6 seconds left, screening the wrong guy. No one had that on their bingo card.
Yeah, he's looking at everybody, looking at him like, somebody pick the ball up. I can't get the ball. And Florida's kind of looking around like, what in the hell is going on right now? And then everybody's freaking out, and I don't know, I'm not a basketball coach by any means, I know how to play the game around ball, but I thought there was one play and one play only, and it was you just throw it to LJ Cryer and he shoots it from half court and probably makes it, because dude was just on fire, and it just didn't go down. They ran the leapfrog play, got kind of crazy. I thought there was some circus music playing there for the last 20 seconds. I thought Rip Torn was about to come out or something, and
it had to suck for the coach.
Yeah, it had to suck.
Super frustrating.
Had to suck for the player too, He was
how about this for Kelvin Sampson? You mentioned the coach, Memphis J. How would you like to end on this note? 69 years old, 799 wins. If he would have won You talk about going out in style. I mean, how much closer is he going to get to a national title ever in his life at almost 70 years old? And how much closer can you get to 800 wins on like the best way to do it? Like now he has to go into another season. You know, they'll play the Corpus Christi Nuns of America, their first game, and he'll get his 800th win.
Hey, man. Sister Mary up in Loyola would not like you talking about the nuns like that.
Or Sister Mary Clarence.
Yeah. But, I'll tell you the moment. I'll tell you the moment. Of course, nothing was for certain in that game. It could have went to Houston in the end as well. But, you see it. You felt it. You just felt Florida was getting it. The moment I knew Florida
came back, same that they did on Auburn. They really kind of took over the second there and just foot on the gas and didn't let up. It seemed like in both of those games, it was kind of impressive.
Yeah, not in both of them. Every single game they did. Every single game they came back from like 8 to 10 points every single game, the whole tournament.
Yeah.
Except for game 1 when they played, Joe Schmo, Sisters of the Poor, Blind, A&M.
But then they knocked out UConn, who the 2-time defending champ.
Sure.
Then
they had to come back from that. They believe, but that's what we said on the show. Is like I feel like they believe that they could beat anybody. They believe no matter what they're down. But the moment I knew that they were going to win the game, I told myself, I was like, yeah, the second half is theirs. They had 9 turnovers in the first half, I think. 9 turnovers, and they were down by 3 at halftime. And I was like, that's it right there. I mean, they should be down by 20. They're down by 3, and they played one of the worst halves of ball they've played all year long. Yeah, like Houston's throwing all these hoops and celebrating. No, it's just like, yeah, it's, fundamentals are going to win out in the end. And sure enough, they did, except for just some dumb luck. There's some balls rimmed out. There were some shots that should have went down for Houston, just didn't.
Right.
But I also felt like that we talked about before is like that run with Duke, that was kind of their national championship in a way. I mean, anytime you go up against Duke, it takes everything to beat them, and you leave it all on the court. And yeah, they started out strong, but just couldn't finish. I don't know what the second half run was. But Florida had to outscore them by like at least 18 points in that second half. I think had to have. I don't know. Maybe not 18, but at least like 12.
Yeah, it was wild just the way that it went down in the second half where Florida turned up the defense, I thought too, because Houston, what made this Houston team so good, every team coached by Kelvin Sampson in the history of mankind has always had good defensive numbers. When you look at teams that are coached by him and look at the defensive rankings, he's always like top 20, always. And then lately with Houston, they're top 5. I mean, top 5 defensive stats, right? And then this year was another level. But this year he had shot makers. He didn't really have guys that could get you 25 points like day in, day out. That wasn't his calling card.
Speaking of the defense, what about the clamp down on Clayton? I mean, I know he was off.
This was wild.
He did have a 16-minute stretch where he didn't even attempt a field goal.
Right.
I mean,
I couldn't believe it.
I was just like, cool, man. Thanks for scoring a career high 34 against Auburn. I really appreciate that. And now you're out here just like, I don't care, man. Just out here selling cell phones.
Finished with 11 points.
You take the shot.
Yeah, bro's like,
and it was all later in the game. That was wild because I feel like T.I. this whole like past 2 weeks, you've hit almost every single like prediction, and then I have one that says something like the X factor is going to be Clayton, and Houston won't in the end have an answer for him, and he wasn't the deciding factor at all.
Except
so there's my hot take,
down the stretch he was. I mean, down the stretch he hit some clutch buckets, which of course we know he was going to do. He's not going to end the national championship with 1 point. I mean, come on, man, that's not going to happen. But
100%.
It was a hell of a game. I think it was one of the best March Madness, one of the best NCAA tournaments, Final Four. all number one seeds. I mean, great games. Auburn, Florida was a great game. You know, obviously Duke Houston was a great game. National Championship was a great game. How many times do you see these big events and you watch them and you're like, well, the one game was great, but the other game was just a blowout, and it just wasn't even interesting. You're like, you know, we got three great games in a row to close out the tournament. I mean, as a sports fan, basketball fan, you can't ask for anything better. I could ask for Auburn to win the national championship, but hey, man, I'll take a second Final
I don't know how many
Four.
chances you're going to get. I mean, you can't get this every year.
No, you don't, unless you're like, you know, Duke. Actually, I mean, they hadn't been in a while too. It's tough, man. It's tough. Gotta be the toughest. Gotta be the toughest thing in the world to do.
Unless you're UCLA in the 70s, that's about it.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's changed. Of course, it's changed in the last couple of years with the NIL and stuff, but it's changed even before that with how fast people went from the college level into the league. You know, usually just like 1 year. If they're good enough, they're gone. It's hard to build a team in 1 year. Now, people, I think there's a little bit more incentive to play an extra year in college because you're still going to make some money, and you've got, you know, like we were discussing, if you're somebody like Pooper Flagg looking at like who's the bottom of the NBA, they would be choosing you. Do you want to stay or do you want to play another year? And I mean, they've got the same thing. They'll make more another year at Duke than he would in rookie money as an NBA. I mean, just salary to salary, you know.
So you bring up a good point.
Excellent segue, by the way.
Excellent. Because here's what I want to point out. Right after the game, right before they play One Shining Moment, which is the most hokey, yet I can't wait for it at the same time. I've never waited for something more hokey that, like, besides the hokey pokey, like this, like One Shining Moment, and hokey pokey. Those are the hokiest. Yeah, those are like the worst, dude. Like, it's so crazy.
One shining moment.
Like, oh God, like
one shining moment.
So here's what was hilarious. I don't know if you guys caught this or not. So right after the game, the commercial that they show is Pooper Flagg winning at bingo, where he has to give high fives to all the old people.
Right.
Oh my, that like, and he's still like kind of sweaty, and it's almost like, oh, he's still like, this is what he was doing during the final game. He was playing bingo. Like, they couldn't have timed that out any perfect. Like, that was so.
He was like, he was out there on the court and he started thinking, he was like, oh man, Utah Jazz, like going to live in Utah, Washington Wizards. I don't want to go play for the Wizards, man. I got to throw this game. I got to figure out a way to come back to Duke. Got to give one more year. I don't want to be a Utah Jazz.
And that's the question. Now, there's that little bit of factor of like, he gets hurt next year. Now what? He is, first of all, let me ask you this. Memphis
J. Put that evil on me, Ricky Bobby.
I know, but Memphis J, what are the percentage that he is not the first pick? 0.00001 or not even?
Man, to be honest, I don't know. I mean, I guess he's probably a lot. I would say most people would say he's a lot. But, I mean, I guess it really depends, of course, if he decides to go or not. You
why would you come
never
back?
know, though.
But why?
Win that natty he thought he was going to win, you know?
Yeah.
Maybe.
Might have gotten close enough. Might still have people on the team that he wants to stay with and hang with, play another year.
Did he?
He's been thinking about the NBA since before he played.
I mean,
against
it's true.
The Dream Team,
NBA
which,
draft.
by the way, we were one of the first people to bring that up. I watch a lot of sports shows, from Colin Cowherd to you name them, and I didn't see very many people really talk about it. And there was one episode that we had at the way beginning of the year, of the basketball beginning of the year, where we're like, watch out for this Pooper Flagg kid. And just saying, this we're tying a bow on college basketball. If we go back to the beginning, we called it from that point, like this Pooper Flagg kid. Okay, so knowing that, he's been thinking about the NBA since he was, probably 16 years old?
Probably an embryo.
In the womb, he's like dribbling his umbilical cord. Ba-boom, ba-boom, ba-boom.
His mom's like, "Oh,
Quit
got
dribbling.
dunked on. My uterus just got dunked on by my
Oh,
son."
man. Posterized.
It's sounding kind of weird. My uterus got
That is
dunked on by my son.
a bit.
Adam, make sure you edit that one out, all right? People, if you're
No,
watching
that's a
at
good
home and
Instagram reel right there.
you did hear
I was
me
about to
say
say,
that,
that's a
then
highlight.
Adam forgot to edit it out. So if you did hear me just say
That's
that,
2,000
Adam forgot to edit it
views.
out.
That's at
I
least
like it.
2,000.
The real question, though, about Pooper Flagg is, did he or did he not poop his pants? Because some people think he pooped his pants in the game. You know,
That's why he left it
People are
short.
asking.
people are asking. People are asking. Cooper
So,
Flagg
I just-
or Pooper Flagg?
Pooper. I don't think
Shout
he's
out.
coming back. I just,
Why would you? Why would you? You know, like.
Yeah. Even
Come
John Shire didn't even ask him.
man.
They
You
haven't
can
even
j-
had
I
the
mean,
conversation.
It's the NBA, man. All you got to do is play somewhere for a year and then go into the office and say, "Yeah, I want to be traded." And they'll find a trade for you, and you'll get a new contract with the new team that pays you max deal. And even if nobody's ever heard of your name, that's just how the NBA works. So, you know, yeah, cats like.
Yeah.
Cats, I would never get excited to open up a pack of cards and receive their card, getting contracts that are just like, whew, I can't even count that high.
Even if you're the number one pick, you think even if Utah or the Wizards picked him number one, if he says I don't want to be here,
I don't know. I don't think that works. In the NBA.
I know that
it does in the NFL, but
environment's changing. Yeah, in the NFL they got a little bit more.
Utah had a good. They had a
maybe.
good thing going. Utah had a good thing going. I don't know why they decided to get rid of Spider and just blow that whole thing up. Just makes no sense unless their salary cap was just through the roof. Maybe that was the part of the problem. So like he could wind up there, but it's the lottery. Like it's not. There's no guarantees either of those teams. I mean, look at the Celtics. They thought for sure they were getting Tim Duncan. You know. And spoiler alert, they did not get Tim Duncan.
They were just fine.
The Spurs, who had the lowest chance of anybody of getting the first pick that year, wound up getting it. You know, so that's the thing. We could be sitting here saying that he's going to be a Wizard or he's going to be a Jazz, but shit, man, who knows? True. Who has a top 10? I think the Thunder have a top 10 pick because of all their moves and things they've done. I want to say they have a top 10 pick. They have coming from somebody. So I don't know. That'd be scary. Oh, Pooper Flagg just got added to the Thunder. You know. So you just don't know. That's the thing about the NBA is that whole lottery. It's not like the NFL where it's like, okay, well we know who's getting the top pick. You know, these guys over here because they just really suck. But a lot of people have said maybe the NFL should go to a lottery pick. I'm not so against that, but I'm also like,
it's harder to tank.
Yes. Yeah,
for sure.
So I don't know, man. I would go if I was Pooper Flagg. I'd go. I'd roll the dice and see where I end up. I mean, it ain't all bad, man. Once you start counting them ducats in the bank account, and then amount of endorsement deals he'll be getting wherever he goes to. Like, I mean, why would he stick around Duke unless he really wants to bring him a championship? But it's not like Duke hasn't won their fair share of championships, you know?
Right.
If this is his, third year or something, I could be like, yeah, maybe he comes back. But I'm kind of like you guys. Why would you? You have nothing to do but go in the NBA and make money. You're not going to dominate right away, but man, you're going to be such an impactful player right away that, you're going to be starting. You're going to be face on every commercial, especially local, wherever he's at. Good God,
True.
So here's what's interesting. We talked about the number one seeds making it, and October 2024.
Did one of us call it? Did anybody on our podcast call it? I did. That's
the
right.
actual championship.
Yes. No, just all four seeds.
All number one seeds.
Somebody did.
Yeah.
Somebody
Went
did.
to the number ones. And I did call Houston beating Duke. No big deal. No big deal.
So here's what's interesting. A walk down memory lane. I've forgotten this. I'm sure you guys have too. October
I forgot what I did 5 hours ago, Adam.
Yeah. So the number one team, the AP poll, I'm gonna just real quick read the top 25. Kansas, Alabama, UConn, Houston, Iowa State, Gonzaga, Duke, Baylor, North Carolina, Arizona, Auburn at number 11, by the way, Tennessee, Purdue, Creighton, Texas A&M, Arkansas, IU, Marquette, Texas, Cincinnati, Florida Gators, your UCLA Bruins, Kentucky, Ole Miss, and number 25, the Rutgers Scarlet Knights. So how crazy, UCLA at 22, Florida at 21.
Who's that? Who's like, oh man, oh God, what number are you on? 25, man. Who you got? I don't fucking know. Rutgers? Yeah, why not? Fucking Rutgers. What have they ever done? I mean,
but look how crazy the season ended up being. Rutgers. Duke at 7, Carolina at number 9. The only team in the Final Four was number 4 Houston, and they did get 4 first place votes. Gonzaga at number 6 got 1 first place vote. UConn makes sense just because they literally hadn't lost a game in March in like 2 years. And then they got 11 first place votes. Alabama got 14, and Kansas got 30 first place votes. And Kansas really had, like, yeah, exactly.
They're awful.
We talked about that with Hunter Dickinson. Like, good God, they're not going to miss him. Dude comes from Michigan just to just puke all over the court, basically.
Yeah, Chalk, Jayhawk,
Auburn.
Squawk.
Number 11, Florida. I mean, number 21.
You got to think Auburn came off that first round exit of Yale, so it was like if that hadn't happened, they might have probably been about top 7 or something, But because they came off the SEC championship tournament, they weren't the regular season winners like this year, but they won the SEC tournament, and then they got bounced by Yale. Losers, bunch of nerds.
Right.
Bunch of pathetic nerds. It's all right, Yale.
So yeah, that was interesting. The top 25 in October, and to see where the Final Four teams were at that point. The only one that made a lot of sense was Houston. Tough. They were stellar.
Yeah, well, they're consistent every year. That's like a lock. Like you can throw them in there, but college basketball is tough to nail until you get some kind of specimen on the court. I mean, let's be real. Just because you look at the paper list of, 12 kids that are aged between 18 and 20, doesn't mean a hill of beans until you see them on the court. I mean,
and college basketball, to be a real analyst and really know anything, I would not claim to know very much about college basketball. Like, I know kind of who did okay last year and what teams, but you've got to know what's going on inside with the coaches. If the coaches are on a good or bad situation, it's really way more complicated than following the NBA. A lot more teams and a lot more situations to kind of understand.
Oh, for sure, man. All the conferences, and that's the thing, man. You're dealing with these egos and these adults being coached by other adults. That all the players have way more money than the coaches, and there's a lot of dynamics there. But in college, it's just we all remember being 18, 19 years old, but none of us remember being 18, 19 on the biggest stage in your lives at the Final Four. Like, take Houston, for instance, to try to take a shot to win the game and then pull it off that dumb shit and then looking around and everybody's clowning on you for the next 3 weeks. Like, yeah, that's tough no matter what age you are, but especially when you're 19 years old, like, in this day and age where you got people out there tweeting athletes asking them to give them their money back because they lost bets. Like, it's just a different world.
They even have to make commercials about it now.
Yeah,
I saw that.
That's kind of what I'm referencing. Crazy. Like, that's crazy, right?
He's like, it's got to stop. Like, I'm listening to a podcast and there's a commercial and it's Nikki Glazer, who cannot keep a straight face for longer than 18 seconds. It's in her contract. She has to joke. Like, that's her thing. And she's like, guys, I'm here to talk to you about hate. And what really got me was that commercial with Snoop Dogg and blah, 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 and so. And they just are talking about hate. And you know what? They're right. We need to stop hate. Listen to my podcast and stop hate. And go to stophate.com/org/inc.government/go to stop hate. I'm like, wow, she's serious. Like, it's just like, okay, I don't think you're accomplishing what you're wanting to accomplish. In the same way that this commercial is, let's stop bullying players for these college athletes because you lost the game, like because you placed a bet. Let's cut it out. Like,
as soon as that commercial airs, this is dude on the couch. He's pounded like 4 whiskeys. He's like, "Oh, fuck you, LeBron James. I'm about to text you right now."
Yeah, like get over it, Sarah McLachlan with the commercial. Yeah. Like, no. I will remember you.
For only $2 a day, you too can save a puppy with mange.
Oh man. Well, it's been about
college basketball's over, man. Gotta wait till next year.
It's been about 18 minutes or so since it's been 18 minutes or so since we've said the words Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. So I figured I would just say it just because there's a thing that triggers, and it's like a shock. We're all on shock collars, and like headquarters from the Idiot Verse will like buzz us if we don't say it. So it was like, I was looking out for you guys. I didn't want you to get that shock collar that they've implanted in our brain. So I just had to spit it out. So you're welcome.
It's like Ghostbusters, and like Bill Murray's quizzing them, It's like, all right, what do you see, And the dude's like, I see a butterfly. It's like clearly a butterfly. It's like, sorry, I don't know, Meanwhile, the attractive female is getting every one of them right, Bill Murray's like, I have never seen this. This is just wild.
So in the Idiot Verse, one of my favorites is, of course, Turtles, Idiot Nation. Of course, Memphis J helps run our Hoops Idiot. We got with Ovechkin recently becoming the all-time scoring, or not scoring. Oh, blasphemy! Not scoring, but goal scoring. So we got Puck. Get the puck out of here. Puck Idiot Nation. Follow all the idiots. They're like wrestling in a row here. Just follow them all.
We got Matt, Mr. Matt over there running wrestling. Myself dabbling in there a little bit. Mostly Matt. I'll throw some stuff in there. Mostly him. We got Devin running racing.
Racing?
We've got Gridiron. Gridiron there's not a lot to talk about right now. That will ramp up during draft.
It's coming up though.
Yeah, right. Hoops Idiot Nation is going to ramp up during NBA playoffs. Our goal is to get all these guys at about 1K plus, and then start kind of pushing the whole package around and everything, and working on advertisers and all that. So, Idiotverse is alive and well, and we appreciate all your support and your blind faith in trusting us to lead all of your idiotic daily activities on your social media channels throughout the interwebs.
Yes, heard.
Stay tuned, because we got a lot coming with the NBA. We were talking about
we got more.
Show, so
we got other stuff coming.
More stuff coming.
We've got more. There's going to be NBA playoffs coming soon.
Got fantasy football coming. We got fantasy sports, not just fantasy football. Be heavy fantasy football, fantasy sports. We got maybe I'm thinking about maybe a nostalgia page of some kind. We were talking about doing a gaming page. We did tease last time that there's a rumor that LeBron James will be a guest on one of our episodes at some point in the future of our life, that this show exists. We just don't know when yet, but make sure you keep tuning in every week until it happens.
Right.
If you're not a fan of LeBron James, Michael Jordan will probably be on here too. So.
I've also gotten word that I think Jimmy Carter might be able to be. Hold on, I'm getting some. Apparently Jimmy Carter is dead. He will not be. I'm just
not be. We missed that one.
Getting in my ear.
Oh man,
okay,
that's peanuts, man.
All right. It's been about 18 minutes since Memphis J has seen his kids. It's been about 18 minutes since T.I. has eaten, and I have to go to the bathroom. So we will see you No. We will not see you Thursday. Today's Thursday.
I thought
that's how bad I have to go. We will see you.
Hey, Adam, look, there's one thing you told me when I met you is that you told me you were a professional. You're not a professional. You're a professional idiot. Right. That's what you are.
I ruined the whole show. Do you want to just do a redo?
Yeah. Memphis J, you mind sticking around another hour so we can just reshoot this whole episode?
We'll do a retake. Again. We're already waking up super early, so
SpongeBob meme. 5 hours later, you know.
You have derailed.
All right,
all right, let's get out of here.
And guys, look, love you guys. Don't love you that much, though.
I promise, we'll see you Monday. Okay, all you sinners, follow Sports Idiot Nation on TikTok, X, and Instagram. Like us on Facebook, and remember, the most fun way to watch us is on YouTube every Monday and Thursday. Be sure to hit the notification bell so you can be updated when new content drops. Remember, the podcast can also be found on the usual suspects of Apple Podcasts and Spotify. Always remember, don't be an idiot.
Sinner.